Good afternoon. It is July 18th, 2023, and today we had an uptrend day. Um, yeah, really clean uptrend here. Then we had a break, and that was followed by a nice clean uptrend again. The only tricky trade I see in here for, I don't know, I guess beginners would be this one right here. But you can see we have a break and a move to a new high. So you want to be really patient. And I mean, really, you shouldn't be taking it anyway because it's just a first entry. You can see first entry, second entry right here. So new high, first entry. But the reason I was so tempted is because how close it is to the trend channel and because it looks like a two-legged pullback. But really what I'm thinking is this is the second leg. There's just two legs within this leg. So if this breaks higher here, I think this will probably be good for a scalp. But yeah, I mean, I'm convinced that trapped a lot of people. So anyway, let's take a look at the price action. We have the overnight highs and lows right here. I was looking at this as like a channel, but really you just had to play it like a range. So we're trending down. Let's see when 8 o'clock comes in. So I would say this, and I think you can take this one because 8 o'clock comes about right here. I think you can take this one. I think there was actually, yeah, there was a news item, so you can't take that actually. Yeah, 8:30 there was a news item today, but it's pretty clear what's going on here. Let's see that, yeah, especially that's off the channel. So I mean, I'm gonna mark that because that's a second entry short. It's a failed second entry long, but it's a news item, so you got to be really careful. So you can see we get a break and a few attempts to go lower that fail, and that's why you want to play the range. And you get this low risk 5 ticks double test near the lows. I think that's worth taking. It's also a second entry long. I like that. And you would have caught the low of the day. You probably wouldn't have held it long because I'd probably just ride it back to the EMA. But then we reverse. Could you take this reversal? Yeah, you could probably take it, but it's right at the midline, and you might get chopped and screwed in there. But it does look like it'd be off the trend channel, so I think that's worth the risk. You can see we get an overshoot, a couple legs up, and then we get a break. And you get a first entry, second entry that tricks a lot of people, traps them before it bounces and goes higher. So I don't think this is very tempting because I'd be looking to go short anyway, but then we get a bounce right here. Also note that this is very congested up here. And you're going long below the EMA when the bias is not very clear. So anyway, we move up to a new high. You get this correction. And then prices bounce. No real good way to get in on that, but I'd probably call this confirmation. So then we get another bounce here. It goes higher. This one's kind of tempting because it looks like a hidden second entry off that midline, also off this channel. So maybe you consider that. I wouldn't say that's high probability because we have 3 inside bars there. I would look at that as an inside bar, but if you don't look at this one as an inside bar, well, you have 2 inside bars and this one's a doji. But the bias is up at this point, clearly. You get this small break I'm not sure if I would look at this as a break, but you get this small break that's actually a second entry. 3 ticks. It's a second entry, so you might want to consider that one. But, you know, with it going below the EMA, you might be a little, might make you a little worried. But yeah, I think you have to consider it. You get this higher low right here. Maybe consider that one. And we go up, hit the top of the channel a couple times, bounce off this trend channel, but this is such a steep channel, I don't think you can be taking risks like that. Turns out we're in this downward channel. Perhaps it's like this. Yeah. So you get a break, and a break that takes us to a new low. And notice we have 2 legs of correction, almost perfect. Okay, so maybe you take this one that far from the EMA. I like that. It just felt very clear what was happening at this point. And here's what I think happened up here. I'll keep it dark, but this is a range. This is very clearly a range. It's not clear where the highs and lows are. I think the highs and lows are up here and down here. So when you draw this measure move, that's where we bounce. So when you get this higher low, that was pretty tempting to me. And then you get this reversal. Well, we got some bars stacked up here. This was a very congested area before. Okay, so that's why this fails. This is a 4-tick failure. So, you know, if you don't have this range drawn, it just looks like we're about to reverse. The bias is very strongly up. So this was a very, I guess you could say this was a tricky one too. But I mean, Mac always says don't take reversals in congestion, and this is congestion. So we hit the top, first entry, second entry. That's a double test and a second entry long. So another low risk 3-tick bar. So I think you got to take that. Come up, hit the measure, move to the high side, and then you get a first entry. It goes lower, so that's a second entry. Signal bar is not great, but it's off that trend channel, so you might want to take that. Find some resistance at the measure, move again, but then it just keeps on going higher. So yeah, we come higher, form this price level, come up, and we come up short of the highs of the channel. So then we get a first entry, second entry long, right off that price level, right off that trend channel. So I think this is worth considering. Come up here, and then we come back down and get a double test. You can see it gaps over that channel, that trend line. Okay, so now we have a break. And then we make a new high. So you get this first entry, second entry. Maybe you consider that, but look, we clearly have a break and a move to a new high, and look at what they did. They trapped everybody, and look, it wasn't I was just saying. So this one will probably get a scalp if it breaks higher. It takes a few bars, but looks like we're close to a scalp. Doesn't look like we got it yet. 90.25. Okay, so yeah, you got a scalp now. So these people scalped out. So let's look at this again. You got that second entry. So we have a new high here. So this is just the first entry, even though it looks like a 2-legged pullback. It's just the first entry. But if you wait for that second entry long, take it. It fills you. Honestly, this is probably off a midline. Okay, it's at a midline. So follow the rules. Be picky, especially on a day like today. Be picky. Yeah, so that's how I saw it. We'll take a look at the daily chart. just another bullish day. So the market is clearly in an uptrend now. Let's see. Maybe this is it. Yeah, it's very clear. So, you know, we're near these highs of this channel. If we're in a larger channel like this, that's very possible. Yeah, I mean, this midline looks accurate. So a couple ways to look at it. I think this one is, yeah, this is how I've been looking at it because of that midline, and I would probably do it like that. Yeah. So we're in an uptrend. What's going on now? All right, so I will not be able to make a video tomorrow because I'm traveling. I hope everyone has a great day, and I'll be back Thursday.